Bro, it's still so weird to see that is like shorter than what it was before. Welcome to the Extra Yard. I am Kai Chen Chisholm. To my right is Roy A. Shepherd. Below him is Juan Cardona. And to his left and below me is a new member of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. You can follow him on his Twitter at what you see right there. Luke, and I'm assuming your last name is Cheney is how you pronounce it?
Yes. Yeah, you good. You got it. Perfect.
Luke, I'm going to just give you the floor here real quick. Introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, what you do, you know?
And then at the end, obviously, to a non or to a hater.
Or not.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Luke. I'm new to 5 in the 5 Reasons.
5 on the floor.
Oh
man.
Stupid. 5 Reasons. I'm new to 5 Reasons. There we go. I also do some stuff for the school paper here at University of Miami, some spring practice stuff to just add on to that. But as far as where I land on Tua, I guess I'm more of a Tua stan, I guess, but by no means am I 2 and on. It's
you sound kind of like Kai. Kai has to obviously play 2 and on here, but he's not really all the way there. Like he's
not VBS level.
Hey, look, all I'm gonna say is the only Fans Discord is gonna have a new friend in Luke Cheney because he is not on the Juan Cardona level of fuck Tua. But Juan, I do have to say, as we continue this intro, I do have to say that ever since you joined OnlyFans, it seems like the tension for Juan Cardona has gone down a little bit. Beforehand, everyone was out there saying "fuck Juan."
I don't know.
Now,
I don't know, dog. I'm just out here doing me, living my life. Being the best of me. I don't know, dog. Everybody there is it's actually it's a cool community. It's a
shout
different
out to 3RPC.
OnlyFans. Yeah. It's people that want to pay to have to or be included in talking about football. It's a cool little thing. I'm enjoying it for sure.
Royal, we haven't spoken to you in forever. Welch is here. He's talking strong. How have you been? We haven't had the crew even together in a while. Mike is currently on his very, very great adventures, so we haven't seen him in a little bit. But how have you been, Royal, bro? Royal A. Shepherd, I haven't talked to you in forever besides donating money to talk shit about the Heat.
Yeah, so the Heat are playing well, so I'm doing well.
Except
unfortunately, well, I didn't even see that. Unfortunately, one of the biggest Dolphins fans that I ever had the pleasure of growing up with was my next door neighbor named Mr. Jeff. And he was kind of like an uncle who became family without being family, and he passed away last week.
Damn.
So that was pretty tough for me, but it was like I wanted to make sure that I shouted out my dude on the Dolphins channel because he was one of the people who kind of kept me informed on the Dolphins against my will. And so I appreciate everything that he contributed to my life, and I just wanted to shout him out here. But other than that, bro, life is still great. You know what I mean? I'm still the GOAT. So, we going to do what we do. How are you, Kai Chen Chisholm?
So, I am great. Shout out Hassan Patel. By the way, just because he put it in the comment section, by the way, Hassan Patel has a new show tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., I believe, on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. So, you can check that out, and you can hear anything that he has to say. It's going to be called the Scouting Combine. Crap, I don't want to get it wrong. Scouting, yeah, it's literally just a scouting combine. That'll be tomorrow, so you can check that out. And also, yes, rest in peace, Mr. Jeff. And I do agree with that last part of that as well. I'm doing fantastic. Just turned 24 more than a couple days ago. I got, you can't really see it too well back there in my mess of a thing, but there's a jersey that my friend got me for my birthday. Shout out Luis Rojas that has my last name on it. So now I have that, and life is chilling. There's a couple of things in the works, so it's life is good. Nice. But I do want to say, Royal, I was going to leave this for the end. However, I feel like before we get into Dolphins talk, and since we will be joined by Alfredo Artiago eventually, I have to ask.
Breaking news.
Turf Toe, he's back. COVID Toe, excuse me, is back with the Packers. Broken news by the Patrick McAfee.
Facts.
How are you feeling?
Let's also he corrected Ian Rappaport too.
Listen, there's a part of me that is a tad bit sad that I will not have the opportunity to join you guys in full-fledged Dolphin fandom. Okay.
We thought we almost had you. We thought we almost had you.
Y'all did almost. You back.
Okay.
You back.
Yeah.
Y'all did almost have me. You know what I mean? I was really close, and I was preparing myself with full intentions on doing it.
We weren't quick enough.
Hey man. But hey, goats do what goats do. They stay home where they supposed to be, and not go to these poverty-ass franchises that's out here struggling. I'm happy to still be a Packers fan for 4 more years. I'm pretty sure he won't make it to the end of that contract.
I don't think traded.
So either. Yeah. I think he just got the money from him.
That contract isn't real, apparently, according to Aaron Rodgers himself.
Because nothing else has came up after they said that, and McAfee corrected them, right?
All I'm saying,
nothing. It's just been reported as a 4-year deal since then.
All I'm saying is that, you know what I mean. I still get to make the Dolphins my secondary team, but I'm glad that I still have an actual team to kind of like fall back on when things inevitably go. When the Dolphins inevitably Dolphin.
Like, I have like 3 secondary teams, and 2 of them were in the Super Bowl, and then one of them, just missed out on the playoffs. So
Speaking of teams, PSG just got knocked out of the UCL, so that's really fun. Bayern Munich's still there, but anyhow, we start the free agency preview here for the Miami Dolphins. Free agency, I guess, technically opens on Monday, but obviously the new league year doesn't start until 4 p.m. on Wednesday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That should be the 16th.
Yeah.
Okay, so that we're waiting on there, and then we have lists of names and people that we want to be on the Miami Dolphins. Luke, I want to ask you first before we get into anything else, and it is a little bit more down on the questions that I have, but I think we should get this in first. If you had like the ideal, just one signing, number one signing that you want to bring in, who would that person be?
Like realistic?
Anything. It could be realistic, non-realistic.
I don't know. I mean, I like one signing that I think everyone really wants Terron Armstead. I mean, I feel like that's the consensus. Like big name guy. I mean, at least like one guy that would make so much sense would be Laken Tomlinson, 49ers guard. I mean, it's a perfect scheme fit. It would be a smooth transition given that he he played in San Francisco since 2017 when Mike McDaniel started over there, and it just makes too much sense as far as that. I mean, money wise, what would you guys think as far as that, like $8-9 million a year?
I guess it depends on what you're actually going to be able to get him in and what his market is. And we mentioned that as we bring in Alfredo Artiago, who might actually have an answer to that. Alf, do you have any potential knowledge you might want to drop here on what you think a potential contract for Laken Tomlinson would be?
For Laken Tomlinson, I would say something in the neighborhood of 5 years, $55 million, something like that.
Yeah, like
and
10,
half of it guaranteed.
Yeah, like 10 to 12 a year, I think.
So like a lower version of the Eric Flowers deal ish, sort of, because Eric Flowers, 3 years, 30-ish or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but Eric Flowers had a clear out the first year. It wasn't that much guaranteed. I believe it was only like 13 guaranteed. It came out to something under $7 million per year that they were on the hook for just for 2 years.
Right.
So, yeah, Laken Tomlinson is going to get something much, much bigger than what Eric Flowers got. Like we might even be surprised as soon as he gets that deal. But I think the 49ers will fight. I think the 49ers are going to fight for him. They're not going to – I don't think it's going to be easy.
Apologies, I was checking something. Juan, is there like another person, like anyone that you think that you specifically would want to have the Dolphins go after? Anyone that you think like, okay, if I had a number one person, if there was one, whether it's realistic or not, who would that person be?
No, I think it's very realistic, and I mean, if we're gonna switch the mold from Brian Flores being creative with defensive players and go McDaniel with offensive players, hell, give him Cordero Patterson. Let's run it up and
Oh, you've
see.
been obsessed with that too for a while now.
I'm just saying, bro. Like let's see. If we're trying to say where's our Debo, okay, that's a legitimate Debo
Not your
potential.
boy Lynn Bowden?
The thing is, Lynn is not as physical, bro. So it's like you can't really expect somebody a receiver to be like that, bro. Debo's a unicorn, like he truly is. Like you just don't see that type of contact balance and just overall power. Like that dude is strong. And ultimately, we don't really need like an 1,800-yard receiver right now. Like we need somebody who's either going to be a burner opposite of Waddle, or gonna take or gonna be a slot and really just free up Waddle to be outside more.
Does the age with Patterson concern you at all?
Nah, because I wouldn't really be. I'd be trying to pay him like a running back, really. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going out there to break the bank. It's what are we talking? Maybe 6 mil a year, 5 mil a year.
Will you play him at running back?
Um, you. I mean, look, I have my fascinations with Ahmed and Gaskin at times. I just think that overall, when you improve the O line, when you improve the scheme, and you have a clear vision with McDaniel running the offense, I think everybody's going to benefit in some form or fashion. I do think overall, just the running game, even if we don't necessarily go out and get a first round, second round running back, is going to improve, just because of McDaniel being in the building. So I just think that I would pay him 5, 6, 7 mil a year, maybe even 9. Cool. But
Just for what it's worth. I mean, obviously it's Spotrac. Who knows how
yeah,
accurate it is? But just for what it's worth, they have it valued at 9.1.
and
He just turned 30. Interesting. So he's a March baby too. Nice.
so I would say, look, use them how you want, and you already have Waddle to build off. You're right now keeping Gesicki, so you keep your options open.
Royal, I know that you're stuck in Packers land there with all your cheese, but is there any player that you think of just from, I guess maybe put yourself in the mind of your very own spouse and who you think, besides the obvious option of who they would want to bring on, think of like, is there anyone that you think would fit the Dolphins, I guess, mold now that they do have a new coach more offensively, I guess, is what the focus is assumed to be rather than what we had with Brian Flores?
No, for sure. Like I think Luke kind of stole my thunder when he was talking about Lakin Tomlinson and Terron Armstead, Brandon Scherf. I don't know how to say that
Sure.
motherfucking name. Yeah, Sheriff, that guy. Y'all know me. I'm going to the offensive line. Like fix it, and I don't care about the other positions. I don't care about skill positions. I believe that the Dolphins are solid enough at the skill positions to be able to do something. But if they don't have a serviceable offensive line with veteran presences, then I'm not going to trust what this team can do. So my ideal solution to free agency for them: spend as much money as you have on offensive line, get what you can in the scrap heap for other things, and kind of like see what you got out there.
One thing that I wanted to ask as we're going through things, and obviously the big topic is the offensive line. The biggest name has been Terron Armstead, and it seems like everybody is in this belief that they're going to go very, very hard for him. Obviously, if you're in the OnlyFans Discord, you will get some information there, but I'm not one to leak information unless Alfredo Arteaga says it himself. Um, However, that seems to be like the biggest thing. Do you guys, if money for Armstead is large, and I'll ask you first, Luke, if it is something where you're going to be cap strapped for 4, maybe 5 years, are you still throwing that out there, or maybe are you trading for a guy like Lyle Collins who's now available? Like, what do you do at that position? Like, do you just throw the money and make it stick?
You said 5, like
Let's say it's like 3. I mean, just I guess out there spitballing. Let's say it's like 4 or 5, maybe just let's say 3 years, but it's a lot of money,
yeah.
a lot of guaranteed money. Are you going to like strap yourself with that, or do you think that maybe with injury history and stuff like that, it's just too much money?
I mean, it is a lot of money that you would be paying a guy who wouldn't be in charge or protecting to his backside. You know, I mean, money wise, we're talking like what, like 18 average a year.
You'd have to assume. I mean,
For
yeah, I
who?
guess
Higher.
For Armstead?
19, 20.
Again,
Do I
look,
hear 21, 23,
23.
24?
that's why I was gonna say, like, I'll let Alf,
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, and I mean the Dolphins have the cap space to afford it, but it's a lot to it's a lot of money to give someone who, like I said, wouldn't be protecting to his backside protection. And I mean, he's a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's a phenomenal player, but I don't know. There are some concerns to be had there.
just as it stands, according to Over the Cap, the Dolphins have 51.3 million currently as it stands in cap space. Obviously, if there are some restructures or if there are some cuts, that number can go up. It was 61 before the tag on Mike Gesicki, so now obviously it is less, and that is before re-signing some of their own, which we're assuming obviously the Dolphins.
Although they do have some like snap your finger, cut the trash, and you could get like 19 more.
They have a lot. They have a lot. Jesse Davis obviously is one of those that you can.
That's gonna be wonderful when that happens.
How much cap would cutting Jesse Davis free up?
It frees up 4.6 immediately.
More than enough.
Nothing
more than enough. Yeah, no, more than enough.
100K. I'm sold.
Alan Hearns frees you up 3.
To give you an idea, cutting. If anybody's a fan of Jordan Hicks, that's usually what linebackers reaching their second deal that get cut. That's usually what they get out in the open market. You could get a guy like Jordan Hicks for Jesse Davis's money. So remember, you're just moving money around. So I wouldn't get too scared over too crazy over the money that Terron Armstead's going to get, because if you look at it as a percentage of the cap in year one, it could be somewhere around 10% of the cap. But as if you just project the cap to just go up 5% per year over the life of a contract, if you give him about 25 million average, and the whole key here is not to get into a fifth year, right? So if you give him a 4-year deal for $100 million, you'll stay right around that 10% number for the duration of the contract.
Yeah,
so
but
it's not terrible.
By like year 2, though, we got to start thinking that Wilkins would have already had to been paid. Tua should have been up.
His 5th-year option.
Tua should have been already up. So it's like we have cap space now because we gutted house and realistically just started over, right? Like,
well,
we
not
went
only
heavy
that,
on the draft.
Sorry to cut you off there, but not only that, but obviously the fact that we did go down a year in cap because of COVID, and now it has lampooned back to what it was thought to be before all the COVID stuff happened.
But it's also a strategy that Chris Greer has employed, and it's completely different than what they were doing under Mike Tannenbaum. If you look at the way they structured the team, they structured the team, it's really a series of 2-year windows. Like, they'll go out and spend a ton of money, but they make sure they can get out of those deals inside of 2 years. So this team is essentially that the one that they're going to build right now will have them cash strapped for 2 years. They're basically building this team for the duration of Tua's rookie deal, and basically going right into Wilkins' restructure or extension. And it's basically this little window that they're creating with this cap run this offseason. So it's just 2 years. It's not really a long-term thing. And that strategy, it sounds good on paper. It could also help you lose really, really good players that could be out there. We were talking about that on OnlyFans earlier today. That type of strategy looks good on paper and actually makes you look good 2 years out when you have a bunch of cap space again. But if you're going to be in the market for Amari Cooper, and I'm going to tell you that they are, if you're going to try to save $1 here, $1 there on an Amari Cooper contract, you're not going to get him with this type of strategy.
See, because my thing is like I would say that you have multiple ways to really build a Super Bowl team. Like if we're looking at like the Bengals and how they got there with shit O-line and straight up, all right, we're just gonna have 3 weapons who are potential 1K guys like a year. And if you're saying, see, my thing is like I'm just not so sold on Armstead just coming in and being just our Trent Williams. Like that's my biggest thing. Like it's like so like, yep, just get Armstead, he'll be our Trent Williams, we'll be fine. And I don't know if I see it like that. I think that I see sometimes like veterans, especially at that age, 30, next year 31, 32, like they don't really respond like that. Like Trent Williams, like he's a freak. Like that dude is a freak. And
You
he
know who's a
just
bigger freak, Juan?
who?
Terron Armstead. Guy ran a 4.7 in the combine, a 4.7 at 315 pounds.
That's like 8 years ago, though.
But he's a freak too. Yeah, Trent Williams has been around too. I don't know how old Trent Williams is, but I'm pretty sure he's over 30.
He's 33. He's 33.
Okay. Yeah. Terron Armstead is that freak. I don't. This offseason, I just noticed that a bunch of people don't know how good Terron Armstead is. Like, he got mentioned in Sean Payton's retirement speech as the greatest leader he ever coached. That guy coached Drew Brees. You know, I think if you want a player, you go out and get him. This team in the last 3 years only really obsessed over one guy and outbid somebody for one guy, and that was Byron Jones. They got him, and I think that Byron Jones, he hasn't been a superstar, but he's helped them play the defense that they play.
Yeah, okay? Absolutely. Yeah.
So, you know, how did they get Byron Jones? They had to outbid who was it at the time? The Raiders and the Eagles.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not saying to not to sign Armstead for the money. I'm saying I would rather allocate that money to go get a Cooper, like 100%. Like I want weapons. Like I need Tua to have, you know, an arsenal of just guys. Like that's why, like, and I was talking about it early on in the OnlyFans too. Like Devontae as my wide receiver 4, like shit, I'm down for it. Like I'm okay with that. Like
even as your wide receiver 3.
Like I'm sold on that 100%. Like at 5 mil, 6 mil, whatever he's getting, like to me, that's just a luxury. And you're adding, you know, Cooper on top of that at 20 mil, and Waddle's really a rookie. So it's like, you know, we're not really paying nobody on the offensive side of the ball yet, besides for Gesicki.
Yeah, have you noticed how it's been really interesting how the run up to this has always been Armstead and Tomlinson, right? Like the entire left side, but now it shifted in the last few days to Armstead and maybe Jensen or Ben Jones. And maybe the thinking there is that Armstead fixes whoever's going to play at left guard. Like,
I can see that.
If you look at it that way, then Armstead at 25 million, and he's also going to help your left guard, which might be it might be AJ, it might be Eichenberg, whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then it starts to make a lot more sense, right?
So just to put this into perspective, because I do want to touch on some of our own talent and then get into potential people at running back and wide receiver. Projected by over the cap right now, the cap is 208 million. It's projected to go to 225 next season and up to 256 by 2024. So realistically, if we really want to be,
how much stingy, by 2024? Sorry,
256.
Yeah, that's what I
So it's projected to go up by $42 million by 2024.
Yeah, because the money kicks in next year.
Yeah. So, well, this year technically, but then really next year will be the year, because this year it got the kick because we went up about 30-ish million, because last year I think it was 187. And then obviously next year it'll be higher. But I do want to, talk about Emmanuel Ogbah, especially considering the Harold Landry contract and then other news regarding other defensive linemen or edge threats that have been traded or signed or cut or whatever the case. It seemed like everyone thought that they would get that done. Mike McDaniel said that they're working on it. They want to get it done. Chris Greer said they're working on it. They want to get it done. Both those at the combine. It felt like maybe this would be a guy that they wouldn't let go. Now it seems like, the days are ticking down. It's pretty soon until he's able to discuss his own deal. Like, how are we feeling? And I'll start with you, Luke. Like, if the team does let Emmanuel Ogbah go, how do you feel about that?
No, I mean, I would be a little off-put by it if this year's edge class wasn't as incredibly deep as it is. I mean, there's going to be starting quality guys second, third round. And I think Emmanuel Ogbah is a very solid player. I'm not saying he's not. He's been a very consistent defender for the past 2 seasons. But at the same time, I think what he does is replaceable at the end of the day. I don't think he's a fantastic, once-in-a-lifetime type player. And, I mean, like, the money that you'd be spending on him per year, I mean, Landry got what, like 18 million a season?
Right? I can double check that, but
I think it's like 18.5.
Yeah, I mean, like, Ogbah would probably be commanding a contract somewhere in that range, maybe a little higher, maybe a tad lower. And I mean,
Average
I'm
is
saying,
17
like,
and a half for Harold Landry. He
yeah,
signed a 5-year 87.5 with 52.5 guaranteed.
yeah, and just given how deep this edge class is, I feel that, I'm usually I'm a proponent of retaining talents, keeping talent, but at the same time, when you can replace Ogbah with a player who right now may not be of the same caliber, but you'd be saving a lot of money, I think that is a better plan of action.
Royal, any thoughts on Emmanuel Ogbah?
Yeah, I mean, I like Ogbah, but I think I'm with Luke. Like you have comparable talent already on the roster. I mean, or better talent. Like, this gives more snaps to Jalen Phillips, and I'm all for that. Go out there and rush the quarterback. And like you said, there's plenty of talent in the draft. So, I mean, Ogbah, if he wants anything more than like 15 million, like, I think I walk away and let him kind of test the market or do whatever. But I think 15 million is kind of where I come in. Like, the Dolphins, it's a solid number for the Dolphins to pay him.
Alf?
Yeah, we've been here before. Like, this happened with Olivier Vernon once, with David Cantor, where
I was so happy to let Olivier Vernon go too.
They had such good feeling like around November, and this was just the same thing with Ogbah. Good feeling around November. Yeah, December it was, yeah, we're gonna get this done. January it was, yeah, it's happening. February is like it's imminent, like the deal's coming down, and all of a sudden it's March, and it's like, wait a minute, he wants more money, and this is one of those situations. It happened again. Drew Rosenhaus ain't an idiot, okay? He probably gauged the market pretty well, and he said, you know what the Dolphins are offering, and I always heard for ages now that it was somewhere around 60 million for 4 years, an average of 15, and half of it guaranteed. If that ballooned up by, let's say, 20 million over the life of the contract and 15 million more guaranteed, I could see how the Dolphins would start looking at it and saying, we can replace him easily. Trey Flowers got cut today. This is the guy that they went after 2 years ago. It was a different coach, but it's the same defensive staff, essentially. Okay? Same defensive system. So they could use Trey Flowers and bump up snaps for Jalen Phillips and Zach Sealer. And are you really losing all that much? You know what I mean? So as soon as Ogbah goes, you understand you got $7 million to play with to get his replacement. That's if you're just going to get his replacement. You can move money from somewhere else. You can also use the money that the cap ballooned up to, and now that $7 million has appreciated to around $9 million to replace him. So, are there guys out there that you can use that $9 million to replace Emmanuel Ogbah with? Yeah, absolutely. Trey Flowers would be at the very top of the list, and it just means that Jalen Phillips and Zach Sealer have to play more, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't think anyone minds Zach Sealer playing more. I think that still is one of the best contracts that we've seen with the Miami Dolphins in quite some time.
And by the way, there's that rumor going around that Calais Campbell wants to finish his career here in Miami and is willing to sign a pretty friendly deal. That helps them in that regard too, because then you could play Zach Sealer a lot as a 5-tech, and Calais Campbell could take those 8 to 10 snaps in 3-tech that you might need from Zach Sealer. Is that a bad thing? No, they got options. It's just a shame because Emmanuel Ogbah is a really, really good player. But that's the problem with being a really, really good player. They're expensive. They're hard to keep.
Does it factor in? And I guess this is an open-ended question for anyone who wants to jump in. Does it factor in also when you think about it? He's 28. He's going to be commanding a huge contract. I mean, does that play into it at all? Thinking it might be like a 4 or 5 year contract. Obviously, we've seen in the NFL now that cap is fake. I mean, Taysom Hill has a 4-year, $120 million deal with voidable years. So we've seen that the cap is fake. But does that play into it, considering you're guaranteeing money and maybe he does drop off next year or the year after and you have a huge cap hit on him? I guess I'll throw that to you, Luke.
I mean, he was 28. Well, I mean, with the way Greer structures his contracts, which is definitely one of the things that I do tend to commend Greer on, in that he structures contracts in a way that, as Alf was saying earlier, it makes it easier to get out of them after a couple seasons. So, I mean, I honestly, the age really doesn't concern me as much, just because I think that if, you're looking at that deal entering year 3, Greer would probably structure it, or at least would attempt to structure it in a way that they would be able to, get out of it without that much dead cap. But I mean, I just think the reason, or at least my personal reason why I think moving on from Ogbah wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Just like I said, just the draft is so deep and so rich in good, solid edge rushers that it really offsets the cost of losing him.
Hold on, just throw it to you really quick, and then we'll continue to move on down the line here. Any last thoughts on Emmanuel Ogbah?
Yeah, I was always Gesicki over Ogbah, so I mean, this was just.
You're just fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone? And just a quick throw here. Anyone thinks he wins this plea?
No, he's not.
If he does
no.
put it in.
I mean, I think it's like I don't know why he wouldn't. All he has to do is sign a paper or tell his agent to do something. It's like it's not gonna hurt anybody's feelings. Like CK said, it's like
It's business.
Yeah, just do it. It's probably gonna get rejected, like 99.99%. For sure gonna get rejected, and you move on.
And and people have to understand, these grievances are not about money. They're about getting your freedom. Nobody likes to send a tag, especially when you're in your prime earning years. You want a long-term deal. You want a big fat bonus check and signing bonus money. So no, this. If he files a grievance, I don't think he'll win it. If he wins it, he goes out to the open market, and you know what's going to happen? He's going to sign a 1-year deal for about the tight end tag, and then next year he'll get a long-term deal. But he does get to pick his own team, so that's the perk,
Hunter Long season. Anyway, so we'll just run through this really quickly here. I just want to get a name from each of you guys that you would look forward to getting either in the draft or in free agency at running back, and I'll start with you, Alf.
Look, I've spoken to his father. He wants to be here. It came out today. He's going to get traded. If you look at his numbers on his contract, it's a $15 million a year average for the next 3 years. It'll take him right to the age of 30. You get the best years of his career. If you're not sending a pick, I'd send number 29 to Minnesota for Dalvin Cook. I don't know what you're doing. He would be the best outside zone runner anywhere. He's a star. He's marketable. He's local. Just go and do it. If they really are putting him up for sale, go and get him.
He's also injury prone. But
he's only injury prone when he fumbles. Let's be clear.
Sure. But I'm with Alf though. Like, despite all that, like he'd be the best running back that the Dolphins have had in fucking years, probably since Ricky Williams. So
shout out Ricky
Williams and my wife. But yeah, I'm with Alf. Dalvin Cook is the guy. You go get him, and you're
at all costs.
No, but I mean, you go get him.
There's not at all costs. You're gonna pay what they're gonna say, and you're gonna pay him $15 million a year. I mean, that's.
Are you sure you don't want to pay it first for Saquon Barkley?
A what?
What now?
Huh? I'm sorry. Anyways, what'd you say, Ro?
I was just saying, like, I went out on all his points. Like, I like the Dalvin Cook thing. Bring him in, bring him home, let that boy cook at the crib.
Juan, anyone not named Dalvin Cook, or are you just gonna run with the bring him home because you are that man that does anytime it's a Miami person, you say bring him home?
No, I'm from Broward, bro. I know what you want.
Tell you.
Talk about it. You with the wrong person.
Talk about it.
Nah, it is
Listen,
not
bro,
the same
stop
thing.
being Jorge Navas. And
I am. I don't know who that is. I'm from Broward. That's all I know.
Tell you.
Nah, I think I don't think we're gonna 15 mil for a running back. I don't know how I feel about that in this economy.
How do you think that works out? Would you send 29 and
no. No.
Okay, just
I can't because I'm not trading for that contract.
Okay,
I'm not.
Let me finish the sentence. If you send it out there and you're not taking on the entire contract, does that change your mind? If you're sending 29 and it's not the full contract, does that change anything at all? Or for you, it's like second round is that?
No, it depends on I don't even really what it's going to cost, what we have done already. Like, if you're telling me you're sending us a first, the 29th, whatever, a second, basically, just for Dalvin straight up right now, I'm good. I'm not. I'm
just to reference this. The out built into Dalvin Cook's contract starts at the beginning of the 2023 season. So you essentially have him, if you do trade for him, at his number. If things go, a different way, you cut him.
But why can't I can't just go for his brother in like the third or fourth round? Like,
Yo,
Luke,
Yeah.
Why
speak
not
up.
both?
Hey, listen, bro.
Jay,
That's a
I
good
bet-
question,
No,
though.
but
That's-
I'm just
that-
saying though, because I'd be paying him what, like 700,000. Like,
Mhm, mhm.
I mean, I don't know.
Dalvin has a hit of 14 this year, 15 next year, and 13 the year following when he's 30. He hits free agency at 31 in 2026.
I'm glad that you mentioned James Cook because he's I mean he's not my RB1 by any means, but I mean looking downwards in the draft, third, fourth rounds, I think he'd be a phenomenal scheme fit. Super quick burst. Well, yeah, once he finds the hole, burst through it. Not a super between the tackles guy. He's usually goes down by contact, but at the same time, he does have a lot of quickness. Super good hands. Low mileage as well. I think he had 250-ish carries throughout his collegiate career, which I mean is encouraging. You want that. He's also a good pass protector, which is another thing. But I mean, if you're looking at running backs in the draft, which is I think the way that the Dolphins should go, just because the free agency class for running backs, at least in my opinion, is super uninspiring. I mean, Cordell Patterson's a guy, but besides that, I mean, Rashad
You don't want to
Penny.
go send money for more step because he's been with the 49ers, even though he gets injured quite often? Come on, that seems like
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
most
I would
logical thing
actually do
according
that
to
though.
Dolphins Twitter.
I would
Hey,
do that. He's not gonna ask that much.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm ready to call my shot because I've done it twice before. I predicted they'd draft Kenyon Drake, and they did. I predicted they'd draft Kellen Balaj, and they did. They're going to draft Rashad White, and he's going to be perfect.
No, absolutely not. You just told me Kenyon Drake and Kalen
Balaj.
Like,
but I know what they look for, and I know, and guess who's still
damn.
there? Eric Studsville. And by the way, Kenyon Drake was a good draft pick. Like,
he was
Not for the Dolphins?
He was all right.
He was good for the Dolphins. They just refused to play him.
Miami Miracle, bro. They
I
did
was
refuse
just about to
play him.
Yeah.
Even
But
after they traded
go back to his
Jay
career
to the Eagles.
here in Miami, he touched the ball. He was good. Period. Like there's no way around it.
Except
and when
for
he was
they
the
did give him all
lone
the
guy
carries.
in that Jay Cutler year, he was a star. He was the best running back in football the last 7 weeks of the season.
That
They just didn't give him the ball. I don't know why.
That year. I blacked out that year. That the year Jay Cutler was never a Dolphin in my mind.
So what?
Nobody was.
I don't know, bro. That Patriots game Monday Night Football, that was kind of electric. But what would be?
Kenny Drake had 200 yards in that game.
I think I was a Rams fan that year.
Oh, my boy Kendall said Kenyon Drake used to look like him out there. I stand corrected. That boy was cold out there. My bad, Kendall.
What would be your ideal? Let's just say, especially since it's hot news, and I think right now they're going off about it in the OnlyFans chat as well. Like, if it is a trade for Dalvin Cook, and I'll ask you specifically, Alf, like, what is your take on what is too much for that?
Well, you got to hold them up, okay? Like this is not going to be easy for Minnesota. Dallas is going through that right now. Dallas thought that they were going to go get something for Amari Cooper, and they haven't gotten anything yet because the entire league knows that what Dallas is trying to pull off is trying to use Amari Cooper's money to pay Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson, right? So they're trying to get 2 for 1. And the entire league knows that. So the entire league is just going to look at him and say, we're not giving you not even a 6th round pick. Because that's what they're trying to do right now. Dallas is trying to save $20 million instead of saving $16 million by trying to trade Amari Cooper for like a 6th round pick right this very second. So Minnesota, you got to do the same thing to Minnesota. You got to tell them something like, okay, you want an upgrade to get the 5th-year option on a 1st round pick? We need your 2nd round pick. So give us Dalvin Cook and a 2nd round pick for our 1st round pick. And that has to be like the deal that you're offering. And that's at best.
You said they're gonna send us Dalvin and a 2nd rounder for our 1st?
Yes.
No way. Well, I mean, what do you? I mean, do we have like blackmail on them? Like, there's no way. No, Alf, come on.
They're fire sailing. When it's a fire sale, that's what it is. If Amari Cooper is gonna go for a 6th round pick, then you can get a pick swap.
We sent
for Dalvin Cook.
We sent Minka with like 18 games into his career, not an all pro yet, for a 1st, a 7th, and like I think we sent them like a 4th or something. I think.
Yeah, but Dalvin Cook is a $15 million a year running back at 27 years old,
with Purdue injury and fumbling,
and they're announcing like, hey, we need the money because we're rebuilding over here. So, they kind of did it to themselves. So it's a pick swap, and we're helping them out in the pick swap because they gain a 5th-year option. So a pick swap, and we'll take that contract off your hands, and you get to save the entire money. That's the sale. That's how you sell it to Minnesota.
After the show, we're gonna talk. You definitely got some blackmail on the Vikings. There's no way in hell they're doing that with a sane mind. Like, I refuse to believe that. Like, if they're doing that, I'm gonna be a GM one day. That's just unacceptable. Like, wow.
God, I hope you're not.
Well, if they can do anything. Well, look, if they want just a pick, look, in the history of the sport, teams that have gone out and spent big money, big picks on running backs, it's the Dolphins for Ricky Williams. That's it. That's the entire list.
Herschel Walker.
And Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Herschel Walker was what, 1989, 1990?
Something,
That's 30 years ago.
Okay,
that's when running backs.
I watched that TV back then.
That's when people like running backs, So nowadays,
mattered in the game of football.
Since then, look at the players that you can get for 3rd, 4th round picks.
That's what I'm saying. You listen. You go and you get a Pierre Strong, like I said, James Cook in the 4th round. I'm Gucci, bro. Like, you go ahead. Like, I'm down.
Do we trust
I'm ready
them to do that?
Then trade.
I think so. This time around, you do.
Interesting.
I want to be.
What's different about this time?
I can't.
What's different about this time is that there's
Our
a
coach
certain
has
head
the birthday
coach
after my birthday. That's what's different, bro.
No, and there's a certain head coach that doesn't
motherfucker.
veto running backs at every cost. Before Brian Flores got here, they drafted in order. What was it? Lamar Miller, Jay Ajayi, all after the 4th round. Lamar Miller, Jay Ajayi, Kenyon Drake,
all worked out
Caleb
for
Balaj, back to back
except for
back
Caleb
years.
Balaj.
And none of them work for you guys. I'm just saying, like,
what? Jay Ajayi
worked for 1 year.
Exactly.
Lamar
Miller was a solid back.
He was for a 4th round.
It wasn't solid for what he wanted to get the contract at the time, but he was a solid back.
Yeah, it was like a 4-year period before the last regime where you could almost predict it. In the 4th round, they're taking a running back. They even took one that ended up going to Buffalo who was pretty good. Mike Gillislee, you remember him? He was like a one-hit wonder. He was really good for 1 year.
Yeah, from Florida.
What was the running back from Kansas State? I'm blanking right now.
Daniel Thomas.
Yep. No.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, he was terrible, man.
I knew by the way Juan said that bit was sorry.
Just to move on from running back, because I do want to touch on wide receiver. Obviously, we've talked about Amari Cooper a couple times, but anything else that could be potential there.
By the way, Juan convinced me. I ain't paying $15 million to Dalvin Cook anymore. I'll take Rashad White.
There we go. So,
or Pierre Strong or whoever
at wide receiver, and I'll start with you, Royal. Is there any wide receiver that you're looking at where you're like, oh, this has got to be a guy that we got to bring on? Obviously, Devontae Adams isn't a franchise tag, so you can't bring that up. But
well, he
already got franchise tagged, right? I believe.
I don't think.
Yeah, he's tagged.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
although he hasn't signed it yet. He hasn't signed it yet. But that's a formality.
Whatever. If it's not him, then I don't care who it is. Like, look, there is no game changer out there for you, man. Listen, Juju Smith-Schuster.
I was gonna say, would you throw that? Like, just in terms of like. I guess he would fit in terms of wide receiver blocking, right? And he would be he is a good guy in the slot.
Sure. Is Antonio Brown? Is Antonio Brown coming with him? Is Antonio Brown coming with him? Because he's not as good without Antonio Brown. It's just a fact.
Would you consider him being good next to Jalen Waddle?
Sure. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster is a solid receiver. Like, I don't want to like poo-poo on him on the idea. Like, it's just kind of like,
No, I get you. Yeah, I get you.
But Juju Smith-Schuster with the blocking would be great in this system. He's a great, like, secondary, third receiver to have out there. Like, but I mean, other than that, I don't hear any names that, to use Luke's word, inspire me in this wide receiver market, bro. I ain't fucking with it.
Speaking of Luke, is there any wide receiver that inspires you?
I'm throwing
maybe some guys that are injured.
I'm comfortably throwing 16, 17 mil a year to Allen Robinson. I would have no issues doing that.
Parker Sr.
That's you can't compare the two. I mean.
Oh yes, you can.
No, I don't know.
Games played.
He's a much better. Well, okay, injuries is. Hey, Rob's a much better route runner though. Like
he's phenomenal when he plays, but so is Devontae Parker.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, like when he's healthy, I'm a very big Allen Robinson.
So you just call him Devontae Parker Sr.?
No, I mean, like I said, 16 mil.
Listen, he's gonna complain about his targets. So Devontae, at least he knows like he's just here to collect a check, get hurt, ride a bike, come play 2-3 games, and he's back home. Like he knows the deal. Like,
yeah, the problem with Devontae is that he knows he makes $6 million a year, so he's going to give you $6 million worth of football.
Absolutely,
that's his problem, and I think he's doing it on purpose.
That's not a problem. That's his right.
Yeah.
He said he made more than $6 million.
4 years, $40 million was a fantastic deal for Devontae Parker.
Bro,
he would have been overpaid.
Look, I'm going to give you. I'm
Somehow.
going to give you a number. All right, I'm going to jump in line here since we're talking wide receivers.
Okay.
People don't understand how good Amari Cooper is. You know how good Amari Cooper is?
He's very talented.
Devontae Adams, I just did his numbers. Yards per target for his entire career, 8.05. Amari Cooper, 8.65.
I don't give a fuck. He's not better than no damn.
Those are Hall of Fame.
Do not care what you talk about, Alfredo Arteaga. Do not give me that. He is not
Those
better
are
than
Hall of Fame numbers.
Very good receiver. I don't want to take nothing away from him, but don't compare
Hall
him
of
to.
Fame.
Is he going to the Hall of Fame, Al?
Amari Cooper's going to the fucking Hall of Fame. Those numbers are ridiculous.
I'll buy it, but he ain't get it up for Devontae. He ain't get it up
When
for
when it's all said and done, Amari Cooper's going to have 12,000 yards receiving
for
in
sure,
his career.
For sure.
And he's going to push somewhere on 80 touchdowns. Yeah, that's a Hall of Famer. Amari Cooper is a fucking stud. He does it all. He'll get deep on you. He'll run slants on you. He could run the short routes.
But you don't think the Dolphins are going to put up
He'll
for him?
block. And he's from Alabama.
But you don't think the Dolphins
He's from Miami. He's from Miami. He went to school in Alabama.
Yeah.
More important question, Alf. You don't think they're going to put up for him, do you?
I think they're interested. But
I think they're afraid.
But we talked about this on the OnlyFans thing. Every time there's a superstar out there and there's kind of like a bidding war, they get cold feet. They've only really gone out there and gone into a bidding war for one guy, and that's been Baron Jones.
And before that, Ndamukong Suh with the older.
Yeah, but that wasn't Chris Greer.
Yeah.
Chris Greer's show, he's only really gone to the table for one guy, Byron Jones. And I'm pretty sure that was because his head coach told him, I need this guy for my defense. Maybe, who knows?
You think the Will Fuller thing would kind of scare them off of Amari?
Do you think they would give Will Fuller another try?
Look, the Will Fuller thing last year was Chris Greer. I could picture Chris Greer running around in the office, high-fiving everybody saying, can you believe I got Will Fuller for a 1-year deal for $10 million? I'm fucking good at this.
I think we all thought.
And then the guy got hurt, never played.
Well.
Will Fuller was high-fiving too. Can y'all believe I just got $10 million and they finna play shit? I'm good at this.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm
Chris
Greer and I grab him again this year for $4 or $5 million, I'm feeling the same way.
4 or 5, I'll bring him back. 4 5, I'm bringing him back.
I'm gonna look at him and be like,
bro, 6, I'll bring Will Fuller back easily.
Go try.
We really are gonna have Will Fuller owning vacation homes all over this country by the end of his Dolphin career, and he would have played like no games.
I mean,
he got paid. He got paid. What was it? $3.3 million per catch last year.
Look, we could either go and pay Amari like 16, 17 million, right?
Let's do it.
Or listen, wait, hear me out. We could pay Devontae 6 and then pay another player like 6 or 7 that's injury prone.
Who?
Amari injury prone.
Oh, damn.
No, Amari's played what 16, 15, and 14 the last 3 years? 16, 16, and 15 the last 3 years.
Pardon me, Mr. Amari Cooper.
Now you know what? I'm done with all this. I just give me either DJ Chark or let's just go in the draft and get either Jameson Williams, Traylon Burks.
I would love a DJ Chark. No bullshit. Like just being real.
I like DJ Chark until Simon gave me his sizzle reel of him not blocking last year and him breaking bones in his body. Like he had a rough year last year, man. But I like the player. DJ Chark's a nice player.
If you're gonna spend some money, go get a stud. If you're gonna spend some money, go get a stud.
You go get George Pickens.
Now here's the thing: if we bring in DJ Chark for like $45 million for 4 years,
no.
I'll be like, where's the extra 4 and just go get Amari?
What?
Yeah.
No. What?
No, that's ridiculous.
That's not. I'm not.
I'm not.
No, I'm not there.
That's what he's gonna get. Juan.
I'm clutching my purse right now. Like, no.
If this brother had a few more inches, Oh, Lord, don't get me salivating and fantasizing about things. Oh.
Nah, absolutely not.
I'm gonna tell you like a car dealership tells guys that walk in through the door and they look at that Corvette and they say, no, I can't afford 120. This one ain't for you then, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
you're not in the DJ Shark business.
If I sit down with DJ Shark's representative and he tells me that, I'm already just standing up and calling Amari Cooper. I'm not even negotiating. I'm not
How
even
do you
talking
feel?
to you. No.
God, okay, where do you feel comfortable paying DJ Shark? Where?
It depends.
Like 1 year.
It depends. Like
same thing as Will Fuller.
Is he gonna come like arrogant about it? Because realistically, he's performed like a year and change because he's been hurt. Like I'm gonna look at him and be like, bro, you've been hurt. Your team's letting you test the market. What are you really worth? Like, are you saying like the market's gonna say 14 mil a year? Because if that's what the market's saying, I'm telling you right now, I ain't signing that check.
What did Nelson Aguilar get last year? Because he feels to me like he's that DJ Shark type guy this year. Whatever Nelson Aguilar got last year, that's what DJ Shark gets this year.
There's an H in there somewhere, Kai.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. He got 2 years, 22 with 16 guaranteed.
Yeah, okay. That sounds amazing. That's fair. Sign me up. 11 mil a year, perfect. 10.5, whatever it is, Gucci. But no,
6 more. You're a Jesse Davis away from Amari Cooper, Juan.
But that's what I'm saying. Listen in terms of order. I'm
Jesse Davis and DJ Shark or Amari Cooper.
I'm Amari. I'm not even questioning it. Absolutely not. Amari's target number 1, even over Armstead for me. And then everybody else is just whatever. Like I think Amari's the target.
We're sitting here arguing about wanting Amari Cooper, and then we're gonna feel like this in 2 weeks.
Yep.
No.
We should just went and got Amari. That's what you're gonna say.
No, because Jacoby, that was his first year here. He ain't been shooting in the gym with me, bro. This is normal. Like I'm not
shooting in the gym.
You think I'm gonna be fazed by this when we
Speaking of shooting in the gym,
it's like you got one for everything. Kai, you on fire tonight.
Yeah.
Listen, bro. I'm fully prepared to come out this offseason without Armstead, without Cooper, without Russ, with nothing.
All right, we need to shut you up, Luke.
Nothing.
Bring some sanity into this.
That's the same thing, though. You think that's same that for the Dolphins to do nothing with all this money? that seems like a reasonable Dolphins thing to do. Like,
no, because the Dolphins, when they have money like this, they go and they spend, and then Kyle Van Noy happens, and then look at where.
Oh wait, shout out to Kyle Van Noy. He got cut the same way he got cut last year, almost days apart, 1 year apart.
That man terrible.
Love it, bro. Love it. I love deciding when it happened, and then his pettiness after. Oh man, love that he got cut.
Wide receiver is another position where I feel like you can look in the draft, especially with that 29th pick. More Jahan Dotson? Question mark.
That boy fast.
See,
joining the Dolphins Twitter hype train of Jahan Dotson.
I've only watched his highlight tapes, and I'm gonna be just honest. I don't know how that fits into the offense.
He's very
Come on, bro. I'm telling you. Look, let's be real here. We're all screaming and hollering. Monday is gonna come up. We all know that these contracts are already decided. Let's be real. Stuff will be done by Sunday. Monday's gonna come up. I'll be on auto block by Adam Schefter, so I'll be able to see it all. And we're just gonna see all these contracts, and then Wednesday it'll be done. It'll be done by then.
Watson's from Florida. I did not know that. From Fort Myers, but he's from Florida, so
we don't claim anyone from there.
Sammy Watkins for the league
class.
Let's do that.
He was in Kansas City. Yeah, he was in Kansas City. I completely forgot about Sammy Watkins just as a player.
I think there's a guy that's injury prone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's that second player that we can Megatron with DVP, and we get them for 14 games, but it's 7-7.
Yeah, look, that's a great idea. The only thing is that you have to put one inactive when the other one's active.
That's what I'm saying. They cannot play the same game.
You do one. That is exactly this 7-7, and then the last 3, Preston Williams.
Dude, you know how good that wide receiver would be?
We just
Easy.
unlocked everybody. You see?
Yeah, but the problem is
That's
you
a
can end up
1,600
spending
yard
like
receiver.
$20 million for that one wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Well,
All of them was
we're not using logic right now.
All of them are 1,600 yard receiver. Come on. Listen, this is why we're NFL GMs here on the extra yard.
Yeah, when everybody does their lists, like, who are the GOATs, who are the best receivers, they're going to have Jamar Chase up there
That'll
and
go down
Devontae
in
Adams, and
history.
they're going to have our 3-headed monster of Watkins and Preston Williams.
The first NFL player with 3 numbers on their jersey and shit. It's going to be great.
How do I feel about moving Devontae Parker for a 4th?
His contract is good, bro.
You can sell me on that.
But
Yeah, here's the thing
but
about
you have to
Devontae
have
Parker.
an option. His contract is fantastic.
Yeah, his contract
A
is
third?
really good. It was so good that and
talking.
I reported this on OnlyFans, and I think I reported on the Extra Yard too. They got offered a 3rd-round pick from the Chiefs when it looked like the season was going right in the toilet at 1-7. Right at the deadline, they got offered a 3rd-round pick, and they turned it down from the Chiefs.
I would have sent it to them right then and there. I ain't gonna lie, like that's.
But
Then he would've
they
gone on to,
evidently
have a
said
freaking
no.
Super Bowl MVP performance.
Toodaloo.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, I think the Devontae Parker thing is going to come down to they're going to look around and they're going to say, we need $6 million. Where are we going to get it? We already cut Jesse Davis. We already cut this guy. We already cut that guy.
But are we really cutting Jesse Davis? Because we got to be happy about it. Because if not, if we're all
cutting it, we're cutting him on general principle.
I mean, but where is
trying to murder Tua?
Yeah.
Yes, for succeeding.
Hey, look, it was ominous. It was ominous when they asked Mike McDaniel, did you know about, that was a stupid question, by the way. I don't know who the hell asked him that. Did you know that our offensive line sucks? And remember when Mike McDaniel said, what was it that he said? I'm very aware. I've been watching film. I know. He basically knows where the bodies are buried. That right there, he signed Jesse Davis.
They weren't hard to find, Al. The shovel was left right in front of it. It
was. So yeah, come on. Yeah, Jesse Davis is not for long here. What's interesting, and I think it's a topic in here. Yeah, should they be out on somebody like Tomlinson and just put the money on a center? Because this is a pretty good center free agency class.
I would love to have a Ryan Jensen.
That's me. Amari Jensen, 1 and 2.
Look, they come out of this with Amari Jensen, Armstead. Yeah, because you got to
or Lyle Collins if you just trade for him.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then I don't know what they're gonna do at Mike Backer. I don't know what's out there. Jordan Hicks is interesting. He gets me thinking a little bit. Bobby Wagner, I don't know, man. He's slowing down, and that's the dangerous one. You know what I mean? Bobby Wagner either elevates our defense into the stratosphere,
or he's Zach Thomas on the Cowboys.
Yeah, or we just threw away $12 million.
Or he's Joey Porter.
Yeah,
right.
Joey Porter was good here for 1 year. Then he was
that first.
Remember
year
we signed Donnell Ellerby? That was fun.
Wasn't Philip Wheeler that year too?
Yeah, about
Super Bowl.
But I'm not gonna lie, I gained some respect for Philip Wheeler after that Green Bay game when he was just like, who the hell told him to put me in coverage?
And by the way, everybody, if you look at it, today was a Dolphin day. They basically cut 2 Dolphin starters today. Trey Flowers got cut and Alec Ingold got cut from the Raiders. That's the perfect outside zone, wide zone fullback, Alec Ingold. They should be signing that guy in the next 2 minutes.
I mean, we'll obviously know by deals by Sunday. I mean, that's what we're thinking, right? Sunday night, Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport are going to be having a tweet off against each other. Essentially. I mean, that's right. That's what we're assuming. If all of it starts, Monday at 4 p.m., right?
I got Schefter at 5.
The tampering period, yeah.
Schefter go body Rappaport.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm
to be Rappaport because I was auto-blocked, but
anything against Schefter. But Schefter he's been taking some L's.
But you got to understand.
Publicized. But this is where he eats one. This is where the chef was born.
Bro, that's Shams just bodying Woj this past couple weeks.
Juan, you got to understand. Schefter works for ESPN. Rappaport works for the league. And when Schefter still beats a guy who works for the league, you're good at what you do.
Chef God is the chef God.
Like Rappaport should be beating everybody. He works for the NFL. NFL Network, his checks, Ian Rappaport's checks say NFL on the upper left-hand corner. So he works for the league. He should have all this stuff before anybody else.
None of them got shit on John Clayton. Shout out to the GOAT.
None of them got shit on Pat McAfee.
Shout out to the other.
According to my source,
was legit correcting Rappaport. I was like, geez,
bro. But they're friends. Like they were
obviously.
That was a moment in time that was hilarious because he went on and he didn't even say according to my source. He didn't. At one point, he just flat out said, "Listen, bro, Aaron Rodgers texted me this fucking morning and told me."
I talked to this dude.
But he just kept going. According to my source, Sizz for 3 hours. Like that's all it was for 3 hours straight. Oh man. To finish off, is there anything? And I put very clearly, nothing including the offensive line. I don't want to hear a single word about the offensive line or running backs. Is there any position, and you know what, and running back or wide receiver, because we talked about that. Any position where you see something and you're like, God damn it, we got to go upgrade this immediately.
Linebacker.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, they need a 500 snap linebacker.
I thought Juan was going to say quarterback.
You try to bait me, motherfucker. Yeah, I fall for it. Not today, Stanton.
Although
today.
I would say
I'll bite backup quarterback.
I would say an inside linebacker
starter.
is something you can't get in this draft. There's a lot of them, and usually, that's a kamikaze position, especially in our system.
Yep.
Is a guy that has to fill lanes. So this is a guy who's going to be running head first into people.
Yep. Go be that.
So
that battery
go
man.
get a young guy that's willing to do it for the next 2-3 years. Not an old head who's probably done doing that. You know what I mean?
How about Devondre Campbell from Green Bay?
Keep your fucking hands off.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah, we.
Like there's nice players.
Stop the cap.
Huh?
Yeah, but are you really gonna pay Donta Hightower like 8, 9, 10 million?
Not today. No, absolutely, I would not pay him that. Like,
I would not.
No.
So maybe that's something that they do. They spend money on. I mean, they spend a draft pick on instead. Now, this backup quarterback thing, like Jesus.
Yeah,
I've said it all offseason. If it's not Mitch or Mariota, it's like death. It's like
Mitch
really
apparently
like,
is about to get paid some dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, his agent's running around saying Trubisky's going to start this year. So
listen, I'm trying
don't
to
bother offering a backup deal.
I'm trying to hire Trubisky's agent, bro. Is that the same one that he got drafted with?
I think so.
If that's the same one, that guy deserves like a no.
Rep One
price.
Sports.
Like I don't know, that guy got him drafted over Mahomes, Watson, and then came back and got him another deal after only sitting a year behind Josh Allen. Guys, the GOAT. It's like Chase Daniels, but like opposite. He wants to play. Chase Daniels doesn't. That's a great job.
Let's go, Juan!
I can talk, if there's one thing I could talk about all day about is Chase Daniels. That is the GOAT. That is the most admirable man in the NFL, bro. That guy got paid. I don't know how much money at this point. We are like, there was a point I was tracking and it was like 50, 60 million.
Why you think that boy first name Chase, Juan? He named after a bank, like you know it.
You know what I'm saying? And you know my man crush Jamar Chase, so you know it's like it's all up in there, bro. we chefing it, bro. So it's just Chase Daniels, dog. That guy's a GOAT. I look up to him. I wish I would have lived that life, bro. Just be a backup quarterback for my entire
13
career.
seasons, $38.9 million.
The guy hit the lottery to sit on a bench. I don't know what to tell you, dog. I wish I was him.
That boy practice tape.
He's not even like the Ryan Fitzpatrick level of it.
Oh no, and I promise you, he's gonna be the type.
Ryan Fitzpatrick actually has to play.
He's gonna retire and like be an OC for 2 years and then a head coach, like guaranteed.
Oh, so you're talking about what's his
Josh
name?
McCown.
Doug Peterson. Talking about Doug Peterson.
No,
Out of these guys, who would you want? Andy Dalton, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota.
Mariota.
Oh no, Mariota! I heard the first two were so bad that I just blocked everybody else out. Holy hell! Yeah,
Mariota's perfect.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's literally
why? Because
Trubisky, Mariota, or death. Like it is that bad. Like
you're like me. I was saying, give me Mike McDaniel or kill me. That's exactly what you're saying.
The boy Alf want the all Honolulu quarterback room. Like that's what he want out there.
Isn't Jordan Hicks?
No, but that's the thing. Marcus Mariota actually can run the same system, and he can run a little bit. Like you actually put a package in for him. Like if you want to do that,
he could Tannehill the situation too.
He can't throw either.
Luke, welcome to 5 Reasons Sports, man. Because this is, if you're ever on a show, especially with Juan,
I love it. I love it.
Once we finally have a Dolphins chat back again after the implosion caused by Kaicha and Chisholm the other day, the arguments pretty much start and end with. It'll be a conversation on why the Dolphins shouldn't trade for Mike Williams, and it'll end with Juan arguing why Justin Herbert is better than Tua. Like, goes from point A to point B randomly.
I was just like in the fucking lunch line or whatever at my school, and I was reading. I was like, why is Saquon Barkley causing this much
The two greatest moments in the Dolphins season last year was when they beat the Ravens and when Brandon Staley called that timeout against the Raiders for the Chargers. When he called that timeout, because I was staring at the screen and I started rooting for the Chargers. I was like, this is fun. Like, they're coming back. And then I started thinking about, do I really want to root for these motherfuckers? Because if we really want to see Juan like this and start making noise, you know what I mean? Who the hell's going to listen to Juan for like 3 weeks?
I would have been the biggest cheerleader out here, too. Go,
as it turned out, the Chargers were the most exciting 9-8 team in the history of football.
It was a great day, bro. I loved it.
You know what, man? You know what makes all of that perfect too is that the Ravens game, and no one will ever believe me because it's like it's some locked up mystery. I saw the real Juan Cardona, and that motherfucker loves the Miami Dolphins. And that was the greatest moment I've ever seen in my life. He was talking shit, going down the freaking loop. Everything was great. That was like a fantastic moment. And then after that game where Brandon Staley didn't call a timeout because he was silent. He was not ready to go and get after all the shit that everyone was going to give him about Justin Herbert.
Who?
Even though it's not his fault.
Who? I was no. You
were not electric.
We're gonna address the Ravens because there was no need to be. We're gonna address the Ravens. I can either confirm or deny that was me in any of the pictures or videos.
You're lucky I took the video because
I don't know what Kai talks about. That seems like a great game to have gone to. I don't know. And the other part, what was it? What'd you say?
That you were a little silent.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I was having the time of my life. I saw six fourth downs get converted by Justin Herbert.
Well, I'm saying after the end of the game. During the game, you were like trying to go at Alfredo Arteaga any chance you got. And then after the game, you were a little more mellow. It's like you came down from your high.
No, because I mean,
it was a clash of the Titans.
Listen, I mean. Look, Herbert played so well that he scored 35
and then 2 in on against each other. That's what that was.
Yeah, so about this roster evaluation.
Yeah, so let's get into that really quick and let's end with that.
You see
roster evaluation.
I read.
Yeah, you see, this is why Roy Wednesdays needed to return. Shout out.
But you know what? I do feel as if I have like the wind to my back with the Chargers because I think they're paying a washed up defensive end more than they're paying LeBron James in LA.
We don't see.
Yo, LeBron just put up 56, bro. Come on.
He did.
We could say the same thing about,
Khalil Mack is
Russell
bad.
Wilson.
You know what the Chargers could have done? Not traded picks for Khalil Mack and just signed Emmanuel Ogbah, who's better than Khalil Mack right now.
Yeah, but
and saved like
$12
million.
Yeah, but Robert Quinn just had 18
don't you know
and a half sacks with Watson with him being 7 games playing. Like, you're putting him across from Joey Bosa. Like that's a tandem, like in and of itself. Like
they had Melvin Ingram already for $10 million. Now you're gonna go get Melvin Ingram Jr. for $30 million. How is that a good move?
You're not
Anyways,
saying no way, Khalil Mack.
Shut the fuck up.
Roster evaluation.
All right,
Just to
let's play this
finish it
game.
off.
No, let's play this game. Let's go, Melvin Ingram.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Mack, for sure.
Over Melvin, are you asking Melvin Ingram or Khalil Mack?
Melvin Ingram couldn't find a job.
No. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
That's both of them. But at this point, I'm taking Mack over Ingram. Khalil Mack's okay. He's still better than Melvin Ingram.
By the way, I can't confirm or deny, but I think Justin Herbert had a hole-in-one in golf. But you know,
shut the fuck up! I will laser you with alien fucking eyes.
I can't play more of that because it'll get me copyrighted. But you know.
All right, Khalil Mack.
Shout out, yeah.
Yeah, 4 sacks or 6 sacks last year.
All right, he had 7 games started. He had 7 quarterback hits. Melvin Ingram had 22 quarterback hits in 7 games started.
And 2 teams.
I don't know.
I'll take Khalil
and 4
Anyways.
sacks.
I'll take Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa.
So
yeah, but remember, it's not an argument who's better. It's Khalil Mack and that production and 30 million, or Melvin Ingram and that production and 3 million. I don't know.
Anyways, any final thoughts on roster evaluation here? Any position that needs to be desperately addressed besides the ones that we've been begging the table for? Go after a fullback. Anyone interested in that?
I wouldn't say desperately addressed, but someone that I do really like is Jordan Whitehead, and I wouldn't mind that addition to round out the defensive back unit. Given that, how many years does Eric Rowe have left in his contract? 1, right?
I just had it pulled up. I'll get back to you. Continue your thought process there. I got you.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Rowe wasn't as
last year.
Great as I don't think he was. I mean, because he was basically a tight end eliminator in 2020, aside from Kelsey and Waller. But I think he took a small step back in 2021, and for the right price, I wouldn't mind upgrading that with Jordan Whitehead, given that Whitehead's also pretty versatile and he can play both free safety, strong safety. It just makes sense. I mean, if the money's there.
Oh, I got one for you. Like, if you want to get a defensive back, he's available. He's old as hell, so that means he's going to be cheap. He probably wants a new change of scenery. Go get the real McCourty from New England, Devin McCourty. He's available. Pair him with Javon Holland, and you got something. Same system, too. He knows all the calls. Think about it, and think about this. Josh Boyer coached Devin McCourty for 7 years. He was his defensive backs coach for 7 years. There's synergy there.
I'm not opposed. I think they should go get a corner.
I'd love to see what
this team be competent,
because I think it makes a lot of sense. No?
Sorry about that, Kai. You're never gonna see it.
I mean, I got Bayern Munich. It's okay. We might have sucked for the past 3 weeks, but we didn't lose out like Juan's team did. Any final words from anybody? Luke, do you have any final words on your first show?
Fun. I had fun. You know, good
That's
shit.
it?
Yeah. No like.
I'm balling, to the top and